Yes, definitely got to get this story in. Houston Principal's Dress Code for Parents Ignites Culture War by Mary Mitchell. All right, let's just get into the article because I have a lot of feelings about this. Carlotta Outley Brown. Can I just call her Cobb for short? I mean, just for this article, please, Principal Brown, do not take this personally. Just Cobb, the principal of James Madison High School in Houston, has started a culture war. Appalled by the attire being worn by parents coming to the school, Brown enacted a dress code that bans do-rags and pajama bottoms, as well as sagging pants and ripped-up jeans that show more skin than they cover. Brown, an acclaimed educator, is defending herself against outraged parents, as well as the Houston Federation of Teachers. Zach Capo, the president of the Houston Federation of Teachers, called the ban as it relates to headscarves classist and belittling. Yup, but there's all kinds of head wraps. Okay, so let's just stop right here. Now, I don't know if I am from urban America. Okay, you might as well just call it that because all these hoods are the same. Every hood, from Chicago to Cali to Jersey to New York, the energy, the same poison that has been put in one has been put in them all, and is very, very familiar to those of those circumstances. Now, I'm not particular. How do I put it like that? Like the drug war, these legislative policies, all this other nonsense was like a nuclear bomb that went off in major cities and rippled into all the other surrounding cities, which ended up turning them into urban zones. It's like the redlining, and like it's like they took whatever redlining that they had and just dropped a nuclear bomb in the middle of it. And townships and municipalities that were small, the once like, quaint white towns, such as my very own Irvington, ended up getting wrapped up in it. You see, so Houston is definitely in that ranks. And as someone who's gone to these schools, who's met these kids, knows these kids and know their parents, went to school with their parents, let me tell you something. And we're talking about, see, I'm in my mid-30s now. So that was 15 years. If the kid had a kid, if she had a kid at 13, 15, and the kid had a kid at 13, 15, yes, you're talking about 2-3 generations. 2-3 generations of pure nonsense and garbage. Just pure encouragement of terrible choices. They wanted every single body that they could get on those bad paths. They wanted them there. And that's exactly how you do it, by enabling them. And I believe that Principal Brown, Cobb for short, gets that. And this has been allowed to fester. I mean, we have a very, very, very intense welfare state throughout urban America. Here's the deal. The way I see it is that blue team is sort of the overseers, while red team is the financiers to the nonsense and the madness. It's not, it doesn't particularly fall down to any particular individual. It's just that, like, the Republicans figured out, hey, if we invest in a lot of stuff that sucks around there, and we instill this drug war, but we still keep it going by having all these different investments and stocks and all this other stuff that operate through there. Like, you could take the Dollar Generals, for example. They're not owned by any particular person. They're owned by shareholders. They're owned by, they're owned by by Wall Street. They're owned by the NASDAQ. So the deal is that there's no one to put a finger on. It's just a matter of, like, where to put the money, everything else like that. Like, it always does come back to the cash. And what's happened is that they've made urban America incredibly financially lucrative for themselves. That's just the way it is, and that's just how it goes. But yeah, so Mr. Capo, I believe that's a man's name, Zeph Capo. Yeah, it's not about it being classless and belittling, and that your language right there lets me know it's an emotional thing for you, and it's not an emotional thing. See, what the parents never got as kids, and what their kids aren't getting right now is professionalism matters. How you present yourself matters. And she's trying to bring a sense of professionalism to that school, to that district. And honestly, God bless her for it, because somebody has to. Somebody has to. There's the satin cap that you sleep in. There's the head rag that your mother used to wear when she was cleaning the house. And there's the carefully garnered and knotted head garb that singer Alicia Keys made fashionable some years ago. Brown's talking about the wear around the house variety. She told the TV interviewer that one incident that triggered the new dress code was a parent coming into the school with a see-through blouse that revealed her breast and nipples, the areolas, the entire shebang bang. That is not appropriate. That is the last thing that anybody would call professionalism. There is no sense of professionalism in these communities because guess what? There are no professions in these communities. These communities were stripped of legit decent work, and really what you got for the most part is the underground. Is that woman was more than likely a stripper, and she popped out a few kids because that's just how it goes, and the system gets to feed those children to the prison system in one way, shape, form, or the other. It's all about keeping these folks in a very tight within their own little bubble that makes it so that, hey, this is the only life that they know. We have shown them what is right and what is correct. You don't wear a swimsuit to school, you wear it to the beach, the principal said. Very true. Bravo for her. It takes a lot of guts to even bring this subject up, and young black women are going to push back hard on any kind of bonnet ban. But this isn't really about black girls and their hair. Our mothers would have had a fit if we stepped out of the house looking like we just rolled out of bed, and many of us upheld those same standards. Brown is trying to teach her students that what's acceptable attire in your neighborhood isn't necessarily acceptable in other environments, which is God's honest truth. She doesn't want these young people to miss out on the opportunity because they didn't know any better than to show up in a skirt barely covering their behinds or wearing jeans so low their underwear is exposed. And that's really where the missing fathers come in at. I hope you understand that this is where the missing fathers come in at, because with 2-3 generations of these children, the boys and the girls, missing that insanely important component to any child's development, what do you expect? No, they're not going to know any better. No, they don't know any better. And then you look at how the schools have been manipulated into basically giving all the money to the charter schools. Like public schools have been sabotaged. I mean, it's all a sabotage job. Seriously, and what I respect about Principal Brown is her willingness to address that sabotage job and actually start to try to put a pin in it. Good. Oh man, good job. She's also hoping to influence parents. Because while teachers are trying to model the behaviors that will help high school students achieve success, after they've left the building, too many parents are doing the opposite. In some instances, parents don't even want principals telling their kids what to wear to school. When Melanie v. Beatty Severi tried to establish a dress code at King High School that barred students from dressing provocatively, it was the beginning of the end of a short tender. Although Beatty Severi's mistake was trying sexual abuse cases with girls dressed provocatively, parents should have understood the nuance. Instead of the local school council already at odds with the principal blasted those statements as reckless, and the seasoned principal was forced out shortly afterwards. Houston's principal has vowed to stay the course. In a letter to parents, Brown spelled out her reasoning for the unprecedented ban. To prepare our children and let them know daily the appropriate attire they are supposed to wear when entering a building, going somewhere, applying for a job, or visiting someone outside of the home setting. The ban includes hair rollers, jeans that are torn from your buttocks all the way down, leggings that are showing your bottom, very low-cut tops or revealing tops that you can see your breast, and shorts. Oh, wow. See, I did that to myself. Go back. Okay, let's start back from right here. The band includes hair rollers, jeans that are torn from your buttocks all the way down, leggings that are showing your bottom, very low cut tops or revealing tops that you can see your breast, and short shorts. Men will not be permitted in the building or on the premises in undershorts or baggy jeans. You see how long that list was for the women? And the men is just like, look, nigga, just buckle your belt. Buckle your belt, take off your hat. Okay? Okay? Don't and put a shirt on. Put an actual shirt on. You know, it could be a t-shirt. It's fine. But when it comes to the women, like, yo, like that shows you the level of, I mean, degeneracy that a lot of these kids are growing up in. And they've been sabotaged. Their parents were sabotaged. These entire environments, these entire cultures are sabotaged. It's a culture war for a culture that honestly shouldn't exist. For a manufactured, completely exploitative culture that should not even exist, to be 100% honest with you. But, hey, everybody got to make their money one way or the other, right? Parents might not like to be told what they can or cannot wear when they interact with teachers and administrators, but frankly, to argue that these parents can't find something other than pajamas and ripped up jeans to wear to school is ghettoizing them. Poverty isn't at the heart of these fashion trends. When these parents go out to a club or other social events, I can assure you they aren't showing up in do-rags and hair rollers. I'm gonna say wait a second on the do-rags, but the hair roll is definitely not the moms. Parents of high school students ought to know how to dress when they come up to school to interact with their children's teachers. In fact, the fact that so many of them don't point to a bigger problem. But as Maya Angelou so famously said, do the best you can until you know better. Then when you know better, do better. Well, yeah, okay, all right. So that's basically it. Because Mary, I'm not gonna go like you're gonna get like really wordy. Oh, quoting Maya Angelou and all this other stuff. We'll leave it on Ms. Brown. But either way, yeah, I do commend her. I commend what she's trying to do here. This is fantastic. Please keep up the good work and keep trying to put some form of professionalism into these kids. But at the end of the day, I think you get it just as well as I do. No matter what, they got to go home, and what they go home to has to be better than this. Has to be in some way, shape, or form. So, all the internet stuff, like, sub, share, speak, and let me know if you have an issue in the comments. Let's chop it up, and until the next one.